Okay, all right. Who's logged into the AWS console? Can I get a yes? Awesome, awesome. So let me go ahead and present my screen. A window. Can you show me the windows I can present? This one. Share. All right, now let me also get some yeses now. Can you all see my screen? Can you all see my AWS Management Console screen? Very good, very good, very good. All right, guys. Hopefully I can give you guys about 5 minutes because I know some of you come here because you have career questions about, AWS and IT career and all that. So with these sessions, I'll try my best, and if we have enough time at the end of the session, to give some time for you guys to unmute and ask a question that maybe others can also benefit from as well. All right, now guys, let's get into it. Today I wanted to briefly talk about identity and access management, guys. If you end up getting a job as a solutions architect or a cloud engineer, it is very, very important that you know this service, right? And this is called identity and access management. Let me make sure, I don't know if I asked earlier. Can everyone see my AWS Management Console? Please forgive me if I forgot if I asked that before. Let me just get one or two. Yeah. Okay, very good. All right, cool. All right, so now I'm in my AWS Management Console, and again, the topic for today is identity and access management. Now, guys, although this is not to teach you any specific AWS certification, I'm kind of mapping this to the Solutions Architect Associate. So every topic we'll cover now for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be topics that are very important to passing the Solutions Architect Associate. But again, these sessions are not going to end with just me teaching you everything you need to know for Solutions Architect Associate. Again, it's not specific to any certification, but what it's like, take it as an all-encompassing sessions, right? We are going to cover everything that's important, right? So as the weeks go on, every week we'll cover new topics. But for now, this next few weeks, I can tell you that every topic we're going to be covering will help, especially those of you that are currently studying for the Solutions Architect Associate. And why that? Because it is the most popular out there. Okay, so now moving on. One of the biggest topics, like I said, in AWS for you to know if you want to be a good cloud engineer or solutions architect is to know identity and access management, right? When you get hired, your senior engineers or your managers or your whoever it is will ask you, right? Hey, can you create an IAM user and grant them this permission to do this or do that? Now, what is IAM? IAM is a service in AWS that you will be using to grant permissions to different AWS services. Okay? If you guys look at my screen right now, right? If you look at my screen, I'm gonna bring down this all services page. You see this? There are currently over, I believe, 200 to 300 services now in AWS, right? It is growing, right? So in AWS, how do you give permissions? Let's say you're the owner of the account, right? You've created this company account. How can you now start to create users within your AWS account to give permissions to your IT, to your cloud engineers or your solutions architects so they can build things using this AWS services here? Identity and access management is the answer. You will be using identity and access management to say, for example, in this EC2 service here, and don't worry if you don't know what this is here, this compute service right here to where you launch, let me just say VMs, right? For example, in this case, right? Virtual machines. So in IAM, you will give permissions to a user that you know will be creating servers for your company, right? Servers that your users are going to be using to launch VMs that, let me say that this way. EC2 that your admins will be using to launch servers, right? So you can maybe put your website code in there and have your website up and running. For example, another case is maybe the S3 service, right? Somewhere here. Here it is. Storage service. How are you going to give your IT admins, your solutions architect, your cloud engineers, permissions to be able to what? To create an S3 storage bucket. Now, don't worry about what bucket is. Just think of S3 is storage, where we're going to be storing things in AWS. Unlimited amount of storage, right? So how are you going to give permissions to someone within your team to start to create IAM resources for your company, right? And make sure that they're doing that in a secure way, okay? So now that's why we are going to be talking about identity and access management today. If you logged into your console, let's get right to it. So how do you go to services in AWS? How do you go to services in AWS? Before I continue, one thing I also want to add is identity and access management. Identity and access management also allows you to what? Not only create a user, but say what? I want that user to be, let's say your boss says, every user we create in our AWS account, every admin user, every whatever user, we want to make sure that they are using what we call multi-factor authentication. Who knows what multi-factor authentication is? Who knows what MFA is? You all should know. Everybody should know what that is. Can I get 2 yeses in the chat? Very good, very good. All right, right? You know, every company is going that direction today, right? If you have a software out there, if you have an application out there, it is only recommended that you allow your users to use multi-factor authentication. So you can create that in IAM as well for your users, right? So that when they log into the AWS console to do whatever they need to do for your company, right? Maybe launch servers or help you create storage services in AWS, then at least say that they have to set it up in a way that they have to use multi-factor authentication to do whatever they need to do. That's after logging in. All right. Someone's trying to join. Okay. All right, guys. Now, how do we go to IAM? It's very easy. Just type in here IAM. All right. Just type in here IAM. I think my computer is acting a little slow here. I'm gonna have to increase the RAM of this computer. Please follow me. Remember, all of this is so that you can have good hands-on experience with these services, okay? And we're talking about IAM today, one of the most important services in AWS. All right, guys, now what we want to do is we want to create an IAM user, okay? And this user, let's say this is the first user after we've launched, this company. And let's say, for example, we're a new company. We want to go fully into AWS. We don't want to, build our own data centers and all that. No, nobody really does that today, right? Most companies, and I say most, right, are moving to the cloud, especially startups, right? Building a data center or renting out a data center is very expensive. So let's say now we've chose to go cloud and we've chose AWS because it's the most popular out there. Now we want to create a user, our first user, and this user is going to be an admin user. So follow me, guys. On the left here, if you all can see my screen, I'm going to click on users. Okay, I'm going to click on users. Now I've clicked on users. Now I'm going to click on add user. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Add user. Okay, now let's give this user a name. I'm going to say M Kabir. Okay, you guys might already know what that is, my first initial and my last. Let's say that's our naming convention in our company. Okay, so I'm going to say M Kabir and I'm going to give them programmatic access. Okay. The Linux, the command line gurus here would love programmatic. If you love to use Linux and command line, the terminal, let me say the terminal, you're going to love this. So this would allow you, this programmatic access would allow you to be able to configure things in AWS using the terminal. Like you pass commands, right? You say, instead of clicking a button to say maybe create a server, you actually type the command out. Okay, so just leave that checked. This user, we want them to have that. And then here as well, the GUI, the one that we all like, right? Most of us, I know, some of us, I should say, we don't like, the terminal. We just like, things to be very easy. And but they both have their advantages, right? And the CLI, for example, the terminal, I would say has more advantages. So it's good that you, get familiar with knowing how to use the terminal. And we'll get to that in the later weeks, okay? But for now, we're going to focus more on using the console. And what does that mean? We're going to log into the console. Like you see this beautiful browser. We're able to click things and get things done. That's the management console. Okay, that's going to give us a GUI interface, a graphical user interface to do things that we need to do in AWS. Okay. Now we're going to say custom password. And I want you guys to give a password that give a password that you can remember for this user. Okay. Give a password that you can remember. So I'm typing in a password there for this user. Put a password there. We're gonna uncheck this, but when you get a job, or some of you might have might already be working in a company right now, and you're just using this to add more knowledge to what you currently know. In this case, you determine your company, right? Do you want, when this user log in, you want them to create their own password, or you want a password that they will never be able to change? Okay, so in that case, you're going to check that, but we're going to uncheck this now. Okay, let's go ahead and uncheck that. And this password that we're creating for this user right now is what we want them to continue to use at all times. Okay, so now that we have that done, this is the username, that's the password that we want them to have. They're going to have programmatic access, management console. Let us go ahead and click on permissions. Okay, let us go ahead and click on permissions. So now we're going to say what? Attach existing policies directly. Okay, go ahead and click on this third option right here. Okay, attach existing policies directly. Now it'll give you a list of policies. What are policies? Policies, guys, this is how you're going to say, hey, you are going to have access to EC2, which is a compute service. Hey, you're going to have access to storage, for example, S3 or EBS, or EFS. And don't worry about these things. Again, we're going to learn these things in the coming weeks, okay? So let's say in all of the services that we saw earlier in the page, here's the policies that will allow you to say, I'm granting this person the permission to be able to use this service or that service. Now, for this first user, guys, I want us to give him the administrator access. Okay? And after this session today, this is the user I want you all to start using to log into the console. Listen to this carefully. Never, 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 ever, okay, unless it's extremely important, never log into AWS using your email and password unless you have to. Okay, this is something that's very security related for all those that are security conscious. Okay, create a user and give that user administrator access. If you want a particular user to have admin access, don't say here's the email and password. Okay, or you yourselves don't use an email and password to always log in. I know some of you might have done that today. Okay, as a best practice, create a user and give them an administrator access, to use AWS if that's what you want to give them. Okay, so we're gonna choose that, and we're gonna choose add tags. Okay, we're gonna choose the next, which is to add tags. We're not gonna add a tag here. Tags are just something. Think of it as metadata, right? You're tagging something so that when you come back to it, you can look at that tag and say, oh, this is why I created this user. For example, I can say name here, right? Whenever I see this in my IAM console, I can say name here, and I can say admin. Okay, when I see this, I'll know that this person I gave admin permission. I can say, for example, admin role. Okay, just so I'm, when I see this tag, I can say this person has an admin, an admin role, right? Or you can say admin permission. Now let's go ahead and click review. Okay, let's go ahead and click review. Now we're creating our first user. This is gonna have both programmatic and management console access. We give them a custom password, administrator access. Be careful though of giving someone admin permissions. Okay. So let's go ahead and click on create user, guys. Let's go ahead and click on create user. Okay. If you were able to do that, type 1. If you were able to do that, type 1. Type the number 1. Excellent. Very good. Love to see that. Love to see that. Now, do not close this page. Very important. Do not close this page. Make sure you click on download first. Okay. Because from now on, you'll be able to give this user their own unique login link. Okay, you're going to be able to give this user their own unique login link, and for programmatic access, they would need these 2 keys right here. Okay, to be able to do admin related stuff using the terminal. All right, I'm not going to show this here. But if you have Excel on your computer, guys, just go ahead and open it. Okay, I don't have a full version of Excel, so it won't really allow me to edit, but just to get an idea, let me just go ahead and open that so you can have an idea of what it looks like. Okay, you have an idea of what it looks like. Is it open for me? There it is. So let me move that screen to you for you guys to see here. You see this here, guys? You are gonna get this. Okay, there's gonna be a username. There's gonna be your password will not show, so make sure you remember that. The password, I know I'm not gonna sign up. Okay, Microsoft. No, don't send. Accept. Done. All right, guys. So your password will not show. Keep that in mind. Do not close that page until you download this. Like I said, now this is the link. This is the link that you're gonna give this user. You see this right here? You're gonna copy this, and that user, for example, maybe they just started at your company. You're gonna give them this link and then give them that password. Give them their username and give them their password so they can log in as an admin. So maybe this is your solutions architect in your company, or this is your some other IT admin that needs admin access to AWS. Okay, so keep this in mind. You always want to download this because you're not gonna be able to do this after this. Okay, so that's that, guys. Now I'm going to click on close because I've already downloaded that now. Okay, now I'm going to click on close. Remember, if this person needs to log in, they're not just gonna go to AWS console, guys. I'm stressing this because it is important. When you create an IAM user, make sure you go and find this link in the document that you download, the credentials document that you download, and give them this link. You have to email them this link. Give them this link and say, that's how you're gonna start logging in. And when you log in using this link, don't worry, you're gonna have the permission that we've granted you. And in this case, it's gonna be an admin permission. All right, so I'm gonna close that now. I'm gonna close that. One of the best practices, guys, as you start to work as a solutions architect, you know, in the real world as a cloud engineer, as I say, one of the best practices when it comes to using AWS is do not, yes, close to, guys, close to. Yeah, close to. Okay, so but later on, don't worry, don't try to log in now as that admin user. Don't worry, you can do that after this session. Okay, let's just follow now. Okay, keep that though. After next week, I want you to always log in as that user. Okay, don't use your email and password again to sign in. Okay, keep that, you know, safe and sound somewhere. All right, your email and password, don't use that. If you've used that today, don't use that anymore. Log in as an admin user with that admin permission. Okay, now the second best practice, guys. When you create users in IAM, things can get really messy really quickly, especially if you're hiring a lot of people, right? Your company is hiring so many engineers and they're all going to be using your AWS console. You don't want to start creating all users and then, you know, attaching permissions to all of them individually. One of the best practices, guys, is that you create groups, all right? Very good, as to we create groups. And then you start putting these users into groups, okay? Best practice, best practice, best practice, create groups. So let's go ahead and do that quickly, all right? Go ahead and click on groups on the left here. Go ahead and click on groups. Now click on create new group, okay? So this will help you better manage your users, right? So that way, if you have, for example, 10 IT admins that need administrator access, just simply create an IAM group, and that group assign administrator access to that group, and then you start what? When you create a user, just add them to that group. Guess what? They will inherit the permissions of that IAM group. Okay, and then you can start creating multiple groups. For example, HR group. For example, IT admin group. For example, finance group, right? Maybe different people need different access to different services in your AWS account. So group them and grant permissions based on groups. All right, now we're gonna call this group IT admins, okay? So we know that whoever we add to this group, they're going to have what? Who can tell me quickly in the chat? If we create this group and we give it admin permissions, when we add a user to this group, what permission would they have, guys? What permission would they have? Very good, very good. All right, now group name IT admin. Let's go ahead and click on. Next. Now what permissions we want to add to this group? So now we're going to say administrator access. So now we know that from now on, when we create a user and we add them to this group, that user is going to have administrator access. Okay, and we've determined this within our company. never, ever, ever slap administrator access to any user. Don't say, I'm just going to make things easy. I'm just going to say, no, determine what that person needs to be able to do in AWS. Very important. Don't just add anyone to this group. Don't just give anyone this administrator access, okay? All right, now go ahead and click on next step. All right, check administrator access for this IT admin group that we're creating. Click on next step. So that's that. Now click on create group. Okay, click on create group. Click on create group. Very good. Now we're done. Now we're done. Now guys, I want us to do something. Okay, let's go back to users. Let's go back to users. Okay, click on this user. Click on your first user. Now we want to follow best practice. Now we want to follow best practice. What do you, I think you already know what I'm trying to do, right? Let's remove this administrator access from this user. Yes, Altaf, yes. It is advisable to do that first. Yes. Okay. So go ahead, remove this, and click on detach. Okay. Click on detach. Click on detach. Okay, now this person, when they log in, they don't have any permission. But guess what? We're trying to follow best practices here, okay? So let's go back to, stay at the users. I can do it from either way, actually. Click on the user again. Click on the user again. Right, now we're in that user. Look at that, M. Kabir, right? We're in the users, M. Kabir. Now click on what? Groups. Okay, click on groups. Add user to groups. Add user to groups. We only have one group created, so check that. And then click on what? Add to groups. And that's it, guys. They're back to having their administrator access permission. They're back to having their administrator access permission. Next thing I want us to do now, guys, is let's create another user. Let's create another user. But guess what now? Your senior your senior cloud engineer, or let me say your manager. I think I should just use manager from now instead of saying senior. Okay? Your IT supervisor, like in your cloud computing team there in your company, said, create a user and give them only S3 access. Don't worry about what S3 is now. Don't worry, we're going to get to that in the coming weeks. S3 is a storage service. Just keep that in mind. It's a service in AWS that allows us to store unlimited data, right? Any type of data, unlimited amount, okay? So your supervisor said, or your team lead, create an IAM user, and we only want this user to have S3 permissions, right? And then we only want them to have EC2 permissions. And don't worry, give them full permissions for those services, okay? Your supervisor said, give them full permissions for those services. So let's go ahead and do that now, guys. Let's go ahead and do that now, okay? So now I'm going to click on users. Okay, I'm going to click on users. I'm going to click on add user. Okay, add user. All right, add user. And now let's call this user. I'm just going to make something up. All right, Ali. All right, my user is Ali. Right now, I'm gonna say Ali's gonna have yes both. Okay, Ali's gonna have both. Let's give Ali a custom password. Ali is now gonna create his own password when he logs in. We're gonna give Ali the password that we want to give them. Okay. Now we're going to click on next permissions. Now, guys, in the chat real quick, fastest fingers first. Who can tell me what permissions did I say we want to give this user? What permissions did I say? S3 and what? S3 and EC2. EC2, very close. Okay, we're going to give them access to EC2, which is a compute service in AWS, and S3. Guess what? When we do this, this user is not going to be able to do anything else apart from using the what? The S3 storage service or using the EC2 compute service. Okay? Right now, go ahead and click on attach existing policies. attach existing policies to this user. Attach existing policies and just search in here. Very easy. Just search in here, type S3. Okay, type S3 and then look for S3 full access. Remember, the manager, the supervisor said, give him full access. That's what we want to do now. Okay, give him S3 full access. And then also give him, once you do that, come back to the search, erase that. Make sure you check that already, S3 full access. And then now type EC2. Okay, type EC2, right? And then it should bring up EC2 for you. And then look for EC2 full access. There you go. Okay, EC2 full access. Admit. And then now we're good. Now we're going to click on next, tags, next, tags. Okay, next, tags. You see that now, guys? Look at this review. We're creating a user. They're only going to have access to S3 and to EC2. All right, now go ahead and click on create user. Go ahead and click on create user. Okay. Remember, download before you close this page. Download that. All right, now I have downloaded that. And when you download, if you notice, these files are going to be having new user credentials. What I recommend you to do is go to your downloads folder where you have them downloaded and make sure, to rename them. Okay, just make sure to rename them so that you don't get it mixed up in a later date. Okay, so like this one now that I just downloaded, I know this is what I can just say S3 EC2 user. All right. Now, when I look at this file tomorrow, I know that this is a credential for an S3 EC2 only user. Whatever works for you guys, whatever works for you. For those that just joined, please go ahead and mute your audio and your video, please, just to save bandwidth for others that don't have good internet connectivity. Please go ahead and mute your audio and your video. Thank you. All right, so that's that. Now we can close, guys. Now we can close. Now we can close. Okay. Very good. Very good. To reiterate here, guys, what we just did, if you know that you're going to have to create, let me pose this a question to you guys to make sure that you all are following. If you have to create multiple IAM users with EC2 and S3 permissions, who can tell me what is one of the best practices for having those multiple users with those multiple same permissions? What should I have done best? How could I? Excellent. Love that, guys. Very good. So as a best practice, keep that in mind. Put them in group. If you know you're going to have more than that, even if you don't know that you're going to have more than that, it's still a best practice to do it as a group. Okay, just create the group. It doesn't hurt. Right, create the group and we'll put that user in there. Okay, now the next thing I wanted us to cover for today is MFA, guys. MFA. So let's quickly choose a user here. All right, we're going to choose a user here. And let's go to security credentials. Okay, security credentials. Okay, don't get lost, guys. I'm in my mkabir user. Again, let me go back real quick. I'm in users. I click on mkabir, our first user, our IT admin users. And remember, for this user especially, and also for all users, we want to make sure that they use MFA when they log in. Okay. Now, click on this security credentials tab. Okay. Now you'll get this page right here. Now, if you look here, look carefully, guys. Assigned MFA device, nothing, right? Nothing. Now, what you want to do here is click on manage. Let's go ahead and do that. Click on manage. Very easy to do. What you're going to do now is you're saying whenever this user logs into the AWS console, they will be prompted to put in some type of code, right? Some code that will be created in their in their application, some MFA application. And one application that I'm gonna recommend you all download now is Google Authenticator. Okay, Google Authenticator. All right, I already have it. Let me see if I can search here and show you guys real quick. So just go to your Play Store. Okay, and don't worry, remember these sessions are recorded. If you don't have it downloaded before I finish this session, it's all good, guys. You can watch the video later on and start from this part of the video and just watch how we finish this lab. All right, so I'm going to type Google Authenticator right there. Okay, but you're not doing this in your browser. Okay, you're doing this in your Google Play Store or your iOS, Android, or your iOS. I'm not a Mac person. Or your iOS marketplace or your iOS store. All right. So go there now where you download app for your computers and download Google Authenticator. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and open mine now. All right. Let me give you guys like 2 minutes. Okay. Let me give you like 2 minutes and see if you're able to quickly download that. All right. 2 minutes. And where's my console? Back to my console. All right, did I click on manage here? Okay, there it is. All right, so when I click on manage, guys, this is what comes up. Okay, this is what comes up. This is what comes up. I'll be asking you guys in 1 minute who has that downloaded, who has Google Authenticator downloaded. Wow, that was very fast, Arslan. Very good. All right. We're gonna leave this as the first option. Who else has this? Who else has this download? If you just joined, don't worry, you haven't missed anything. You can watch the video later on to catch up. Okay. I have this on my phone. Do I still need it? No. Do I need to? No. You just want it on your phone. We just want it on our phones. Okay. Your company has told you you would have to use this application to generate one-time passwords, so you can log into the account that they create for you. Okay. Let me see. Can I get a couple of ones if you have it downloaded now? Can I get a couple of ones in the chat? Just type 1. Very good. Very good. Very good. Excellent. All right, guys. Let's move on. We only have a couple of minutes left for today. So now you're gonna say virtual MFA device. All right. Choose that. Don't choose any other one. Don't choose any other one. Okay. Now click on continue. Okay. Click on continue. Now it's gonna say show QR code. Okay, show QR code. Now I'm gonna do that. Show QR code. Okay, please don't use mine. Okay, use yours. All right. Don't use mine. Use yours. Now you're gonna what? You're gonna click on the plus sign. When you open your Google Authenticator app, click on the plus sign. Okay, click on the plus sign and say scan QR code. Okay, scan a QR code. Okay, I hope none of you have used mine yet. Okay, all right. Also, I would recommend, guys, if this is a user, don't worry, I'm gonna delete it because I know there's a lot of people around the world watching this. Okay, I'm gonna delete this user later on and create another user because you don't want to show this to everyone around the world. Okay, later on, if you forget the password for this user or they deleted this app, you can always use this image, right, to get them back into using MFA. So very important. I would recommend you take a screenshot of this QR code that has been generated for you. Trust me, you want to keep this and store this in a safe location. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Now, guys, it will start generating passwords for you. Okay, codes. Now, I want you to open what you have now in your Google Authenticator app. Okay, you don't need to open. You see now that it's generating numbers. Let me get a bunch of 2s in the chat. Is it generating numbers for you now? And did you scan your QR code? Let me get let me get a couple of 2s. Very good, very good. 2, not 1. 2. Okay, very good. All right, guys. Now, what we need to do now is before the timer runs out, we want to be able to type in 2 MFA codes. Okay, we want to be able to type in 2 of them. Now, I have one on my screen now. I'm gonna type it in now. Okay. So go ahead and type the first one in. Don't click anything, just click on the second box. Now wait for that one to end, and then you're gonna type the second number that comes up, okay? Wait for that timer to end so this number goes away. We already have that number in there. Now wait for it. Okay. Now I have another number. Okay. Now I'm gonna type that number in now. Okay. I have another number. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that now. Okay. Now I'm gonna click on assign MFA. Assign MFA. Okay. Your virtual MFA will be required during. Guys, this is amazing, right? This demo that you just did today, gold, right? Golding. I know some of you might have been studying for AWS all of this while, but sometimes to do hands-on, and I'm one of those people sometimes, right? When I'm watching a video about a course, I just like to watch the instructor do it. But I hope you guys were able to follow me and do this today. Okay. Now you can comfortably create users in AWS and assign them permissions that they only need. But not only that, guys, you're going to be following best practices. Not only that, what most enterprises do today, assign MFAs. You've been able to do that now. Okay. So don't worry. Again, you're going to have this video recording. Just make sure you join my Telegram channel. Okay. Join that Telegram channel so you get reminders every week about this, hands-on sessions. So that's that, guys. You can go ahead and close that. A great job on completing this. As an assignment for you guys, you must do this. All right, you must do this. Okay, this other user right here, I want you to do the same thing for them. Okay, assign MFA to this Ali user right here, or whatever name you've given this user that only has S3 and EC2 permission. Okay. Go ahead and assign an MFA to that user. Let me see, what else do I have here to talk to you guys about today? Okay, guys, two things I want you to do, right? Because in these sessions, you're going to be learning a lot, okay? And sorry, I know 1 hour might not be a lot, but trust me, I'll try to put a lot of things in these sessions that are just going to be like things that they're going to be, very beneficial for you guys. So one of the most important things I want us to do right now is download two things. You don't have to download them today, but these are things that are going to be very useful in this 1 hour sessions. I use these tools, I can say almost on a day-to-day basis, right? If you're calling yourself, or if you're looking yourself as a potential solutions architect or a cloud engineer, I want you to have these two tools in your arsenal, okay? Look at what I'm typing, right? MobaXTerm. Okay, type in MobaXTerm. Remember I talked about terminal and CLI access that you can use to log into the AWS console? Apart from using what? The actual AWS console right here. Let me go back to my main page. Okay, so apart from coming into the GUI interface here to do things, you can do things in the terminal as well, where you type in commands to, to create users and all that. Now, guys, here's one tool that will allow you to do that. If you have a Mac, you don't have to download this tool, okay? You already have something called Terminal, okay? You already have a terminal, okay? So download this tool right here called MobaXTerm. Let me just put it in the chat, okay? Let me put it in the chat for you guys, okay? Actually, how about I copy the entire link, actually? Let's get the exact link, okay? And don't worry, we don't have enough time to do an example today. I didn't expect IAM to take just one session. So there, MobaXTerm. Don't worry, this is a completely safe website. All right. I use this also every day when I worked at Deloitte. Okay, when I was at Deloitte, this was one tool that we used very well as well. Okay, download this MobaXTerm tool. You would see here there should be something. So click on Get MobaXTerm, and you give you two options. There you go. Okay. Don't worry if you were lost there. Let me go back. Get MobaXTerm. Okay. Now, what do you want to download? Of course, the free one. Okay. Again, guys, Mac users, please do not download this. You cannot. It wouldn't work. I don't know if it works on Macs, but again, you don't need this because you already have Terminal. Okay. This will allow us SSH into our servers. Okay. When we launch a compute server, and don't worry if you don't know what SSH is. Okay. But one thing I'll recommend, well, I'll mention that at the end, because I know some of you are new to this IT field. So some of these things that I'm saying might be a little bit advanced, but don't worry, just continue to follow these sessions, and I'll talk about something important at the end. All right, so go ahead and download this. It allows to SSH, Telnet, and all that good stuff into our servers so we can do things with our servers when we launch them in a couple of weeks from now. Okay, so download this. Now the next tool I want you guys to download is what's it called? VS Code. Okay, VS Code. Who knows what VS Code is here? Let me see. Let me get a bunch of ones. If you know what VS Code is MobaXTerm. Yes, Obafemi, yes. MobaXTerm is yes. So if you know PuTTY and PuTTYGen and all that, I don't like to use that. Why? Because you have to convert your PEM to PPK. With MobaXTerm, you don't have to convert your PEM files to PPKs anymore. Okay, trust me, you're gonna love MobaXTerm. Okay, so Visual Studio Code. Okay, so I see some ones there. You know what it is? For all of you programmers in here that are looking to learn cloud, if you already have this installed, great job. Okay, I just love to use this one tool to do everything from logging into AWS. Oh, Muyiwa, you have it. Olu Muyiwa, you have it. And don't ask why I'm pronouncing your names correctly. Okay, of course I'm Nigerian, so I know how to pronounce them well. All right, Olu Muyiwa. Yes, that's good. I like that you have this tool. All right. So Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code. Go ahead and open that. Okay, go ahead and open that and download this Visual Studio Code tool. Visual Studio Code tool. Amazing tool, guys. All right. From like looking at our codes in the near future, to like putting them on our servers, all of those good stuff in this tool and a lot more. Okay, I'm completely in love with this VS Code tool, and I'm sure many programmers out there. And I just want to say here, you don't have to be a programmer to be a cloud engineer. Okay, you don't have to be a programmer. Okay, but I do recommend having some familiarity with some programming language, and I'll come to that in a second. Okay, so that's that. As an assignment for today as well, guys, download the latest version. Okay, download the latest version. Yeah, the stable build. Right, whichever one, the latest version, the stable build, just download, click on download for Windows and download VS Code. I think if you have a Mac, it'll automatically tell you download for your Mac. Okay, so download VS Code. As we continue to have these 1 hour sessions, we're going to be using these tools frequently, but let's make sure we have them ready and available now. So, okay, as an assignment, MobaXTerm, Visual Studio Code, download them. I should have pasted the link, but I'm pretty sure you all have it. I'm guessing you all should have that now. I'm pasting that link for you guys. Okay, so Visual Studio Code. Okay, all right, guys, my last reminders here for the week. Okay, before I open it up for any questions for you guys, this is always housekeeping. During the last few minutes of the sessions, I want to share this. And I shared this in my last video as well. But the first couple of weeks, I want to remind you all of this. Okay, before we conclude for today, here is my LinkedIn article. If you are someone that's new, maybe due to current economic situations or whatever it is, or you just want to change from whatever you're doing now to IT, so you can start. Of course, I must say IT is a lucrative field, right? Just Google solutions architect salaries, right? And see what they're making. Google cloud engineer salaries and we see what they're making. Yes, it is a lucrative field, but also remember, it has to be something you love to do. Okay, I always tell people, if you're pursuing your dreams, don't only do that for, okay, it's a lucrative field or anything like that. Make sure once you start learning it, you start to see that you have some type of passion for it. Okay, with that said, if you're new to IT and some of these things, words that I mentioned are new, don't worry. Go and read this article of mine. Okay, read this article. I've put in here resources that can help you. Okay, apart from joining these 1 hour sessions, all of the resources I mentioned here will greatly help you in having like a plan, right? A template for the different resources out there that you can use to learn the most important topics you need to know to be a solutions architect or a cloud engineer. And don't worry, I'll paste all the important links in a couple of minutes. All right. Now, the goal as we move forward with this 1 hour session, guys, I want at the end of the day, I cannot tell you how much I've gotten emails in my LinkedIn, right? And like people just like, saying thank you for this. some other people that I got their messages, they used this, they had their own resumes before, it wasn't really working. When they looked to using, my article, and then, gaining all of these skills, because everything here I mentioned in the article, how you can have all of these skills if you don't already have them, okay? So everything here, if you carefully go over my article, everything you need to learn all of this is in that article, right? Of course, a big addition to that is joining this 1 hour live sessions, right? So you can do some hands-on. So this resume, I think it's a life changer, okay? I carefully made this resume to help all of you guys out there that don't know what your resume should look like. If you have this resume, I'm like, I can say now 60-70%, like confident, right, that you would get some type of interviews, okay? I'm not saying guarantee, okay? But what I've noticed that this works, okay? And I do have that. I'll share that link with you guys. Some of you might already have it. You want to, at the end of the day, make your resume look like this, okay? It just shows that you're tech savvy, right? And imagine, see here, right? I'm hoping that, like, from today you guys are thinking, I'm gonna pursue this certification, okay? And this 1 hour sessions will greatly help you as you pursue this Solutions Architect Associate certification, okay? I recommended a Udemy course on here for you guys to use as you start to learn Solutions Architect Associate. How many more minutes? We have 8 minutes left before the end of today, guys. So that's that. Use this resume, and please share your good news with me. If this resume, maybe boosted your, your marketplace visibility, and you started to get some type of interviews and all that. Yeah, edit it to suit your current skills. Very good. Yes. Yeah. Olumiwa, do that. And for all of you as well, you can add, you can subtract, just copy it and, create a Word document. And edit as you want. Okay, edit as you want. All right. What else did I want to say? What else did I want to add here? Let me see. I think this is a YouTube video that I wanted to recommend to you. Now, guys, as you all might know, I am Solutions Architect Professional Certified, and I'm Solutions Architect Associate Certified, and I'm AWS Security Specialty Certified. Okay. Things I don't understand, right? Things I don't quickly understand on AWS, like I mentioned last week. Don't just give up after one attempt. Google, YouTube, find other resources to learn that topic and learn it well. Now, this first video here, I already have it in that article as well, but I wanted to emphasize today, as we move on with these sessions, I really want you guys, during the week, it's a 7-hour video. If you don't already have any experience with Linux, please learn Linux. Vital. Vital, okay? I'm not saying go and become an expert. No. Use this video and just know how to use the terminal, okay? Know how to use the terminal, type commands, run commands, do a couple of things that you should be able to do in a terminal, right? Linux does also have a graphical user interface, okay? No, you don't have to get certified in Linux. You don't. Yeah, you don't. Just take this. You can, as you can see, I listed it here also as one of the skills. Okay, just watch that. If you watch that video, you can comfortably list all of this in your resume as well. Okay, 7-hour video. This is the most recommended. As you can see, has millions of views, 2 million. When I started sharing this video, it had 1 million views. Look at where it is now. You see, that's how much people love this video. So think about this as, you don't have to pay like a couple of $100s to learn Linux, and get too advanced. No, use this video. Get some good, solid, basic foundational knowledge that you need, to get on the job, and you're good. Next thing here, there's something called example policies. I didn't get to this today. We'll get to that next week. We'll look at some of these policies and, how they can easily help you on the job. Now, guys, we're attaching policies to users earlier. This is what a policy look like. Now, don't get scared, okay? It's kind of like code as well. But this is how a policy look like. It's written in JSON. Don't worry, we'll attach these policies directly and copy them and paste them to a user in later sessions. I wanted to make sure that this, for example, on the job will help you to not try to write this yourself. Don't try to write these policies yourself, okay? AWS has templates you can use. Moving on. There's also something called an IAM Policy Generator, okay? An IAM Policy Generator. It allows you to create policies that control access. So if you want to create something like this, right, you can use this to create that, okay? just something for you to take a look at. For some of you that might already be working in the field, this is a very good tool to know about. All right, Policy Simulator. This can help you test a policy before you apply to a user. Something to also keep in your arsenal. Remember, these sessions are not only to teach you stuff, but to give you resources that will help you as you get a job and you start working in the field. So these two things also keep them in your toolbox. And this video, like as I was saying earlier, when I'm learning to something, I look for other resources. Reinvent video, guys, I highly recommend. Look at that. Reinvent videos. Yes, they're usually about an hour long, but trust me, it will really, really help you to hone in and understand these services well. Okay. So this video right here, I also have it in my in the resources that I'm going to share with you guys today. Please watch it if you have some time. What is this policy generator again? IAM Policy Simulator. I already talked about that. That was a search. Testing IAM policies. Google. MobaXTerm. All right, guys. Any question? And Noah, you can get on video if you want, or audio. I can take only one question. We have 3 minutes. So first person to unmute. What's your career question, or what question do you have about AWS? Very good. Okay, we have the first and only person. Oluwasegun. All right. Thanks for joining the session. Yeah. What's your question?
So my question is, so someone told me about. So my question is, so someone told me about someone who had been a system cloud practitioner.
Yeah.
So I was like, for someone who had been a system admin to start with, will cloud partition be an
Olusegun, right? Oluwasegun. From what I've seen in the industry, right, and when I host like classes in my community and I have a lot of students and all that, this is something I do once in a while. From my experiences and advising, lots of people, I wouldn't say, unless you don't have even if you don't have any IT background, trust me from experience, you don't. I know this might be shocking to some of you, and this is again from what I've seen, you don't have to go to the cloud practitioner route. Just go for the solutions architect associate. Okay? And this is from me seeing and testing this, that I've seen people go directly, okay, to the solutions architect associate without the cloud practitioner, and they did well. All right? That article will greatly help you. Of course, although I did mention a Udemy course in there you can use for cloud practitioner, do you want to skip that and go to Solutions Architect Associate immediately? Yes, you can do it. Right? Yes, you can do it. Okay? But my recommendation is just follow that article that I have on the screen again, and you should be good. Okay? But yes, to answer your question, yes. You don't, or should I say no? You don't have to do the cloud practitioner. You can go straight to the Solutions Architect Associate, which is what I lean towards more when I advise people on that. Okay? All right, you're welcome. Is that good? Answer your question?
Thank you, sir.
All right, cool. All right, any other questions, guys, today before we go? Any other questions? Okay, no other questions. Sorry, it's 12 o'clock. I see you guys next week. Here, guys, before we go, I made a template of everything that's important for us. So copy that in the chat. Okay, it's going to be a lot of links. Okay, copy that. These are important links that we talked about today. Okay, the first one is just information about these sessions. Copy that before you leave. Those are the important session, the important links that you need for today. And with that said, thank you all for joining this session today. I will see you all next Sunday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Please, please, please share this with all your WhatsApp groups, your networking groups, your Facebook groups. I hope you guys are enjoying this, and I hope you guys are benefiting. Bring your career questions. I'll see you guys next week, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Thank you, and have a great rest of your week. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
See you next week.
See you next week, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I have a Jumoke Olubade here. Let me see, any other names I can recognize here?
Assalamu alaikum, barakallahu fikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you. Alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum, barakallahu fikum.
Tinu. I have another Tinu here. That's good. Azomo Naija. Alright, guys. Hi, Jumoke. Hey. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to stop the recording now.